Good Friday morning, a feel-good Friday, the first feel-good Friday of the 2025 baseball season gets off to a great start for the New York Yankees, not as much for the New York Mets. People are going to overreact. I have to admit I was annoyed with the way that the Mets game ended, and of course annoyed at seeing some of the reaction from Yankee fans on X. But then you go to bed, you wake up, and you remember that there's 161 more of these. But one takeaway I had from the game yesterday was after a season of 2024 where it ended with so much magic and every moment that could have been a great moment ended up being a great moment until it ended against L.A. in Game 6, whether it was Francisco Lindor or Mark Vientos or Pete Alonso's home run. There were three instances at the end of this game that the 2024 Mets, one of them they would have come through with. Nimmo with the bases loaded. This kid who was an Uber driver and working at whatever the hell he was working at, Aldi or something. He comes up with the bases loaded, and then Juan Soto off his $765 million comes up with the bases loaded.
You mean Sanger, right?
Yeah, Sanger.
Yeah. Sanger, who worked at a Whole Foods.
Oh, that's what it was, Whole Foods.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, at those three moments, something special would have happened last year. Game 1 of 2025, it didn't. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
You know, Acuna Jr. had a hell of it at bat, though.
He definitely did.
That
was awesome.
That was big time at bat. You know, that was that's
he was
a
down
kid.
0-2 too.
Right, and that's it's a hell of a pitcher out there who, you know, kind of lost his stuff a little bit. And Juan Soto was sitting on a fastball, and he threw him a slider or some other crap. But, you know, we got a long time to go. But I will say it was so great to get ready to watch the Astros and the Mets. And let's go, baby. Here we are. And boom, nothing. I couldn't get in. I didn't know whether or not I was going to be able to watch the game. I didn't know whether to panic and call Al or call you and say, what the hell's happening here? And then, for me anyway, I don't know about what you guys had to deal with, and I know we all were dealing with something with this MLB app. But, you know, all I had to do ultimately is had to update the app.
Yeah, see, to my app was updated. It was just their issues that they had. And I thought it was maybe something that was just going to the TV that was getting screwed up. So once I saw that, because it was like, MLB Media does not recognize this device is the first thing that I got. And I was like, okay. So I go to the phone to see if I can watch it on the phone. Same thing. Then I go to the iPad to see if I can watch it on the iPad. Same thing. Then I go to X to see if other people are having the problem, other people having the problem. Then I got different error messages. Eventually, I got the Mets streaming, no problem, the rest of the game. But, I mean, I did miss Juan Soto's first at-bat as a New York Met because these idiots couldn't get this thing figured out on opening day.
Right. And the nice thing about the app, but they have this one improvement they have to do, and I don't know if you guys had the same issue. So the great thing about watching YouTube and watching the NFL ticket on YouTube, if you put it in the 4-box, they're all the same size.
Yeah.
All right, and then if you do a double screen, they're both the same size, and then you can switch back and forth with the audio, which is great. My MLB app had a big screen and a small screen. They weren't the same. I couldn't make them the same size. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so I was going back and forth between the audio with the Mets and the Yankees, which is great to actually have them both right there, and that was good. But they have to be able to. And maybe it was just my app, maybe it was just my situation, maybe it's my TV, I don't know. But I could not make both of the pictures the same size. And that has to be rectified. You got to be able to have two of the same size pictures.
Yes, but I don't think a lot of people have that same issue that you have because we are lucky enough to get some of the blackout stuff away from MLB Network. Most people can't watch the Yankees and the Mets both on the MLB app.
But yesterday was ESPN.
Yeah, but you still wouldn't be able to.
No, I watched them both on the app.
Right. Well, I don't think, that we did. Not everybody else is going to have that same experience.
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
Yes.
For those people that are lucky enough to have what we have, I was
Which
able
is
to
like,
watch both teams.
Yeah, like 100 of us maybe in the country.
All right. I thought there were more than us.
No, I don't think
because
so.
I'm just saying, like, when you watch YouTube.
Yeah, I know. The Sunday ticket's great and MLB sucks. It's like every other thing. NFL is great and MLB sucks.
Well,
it's
I mean,
everything.
By the way, when you got to remember, MLB started this whole thing.
Yeah, I know.
And
they're going to end it, too.
They were the standard bearer, and they were the first ones to go into it. It was MLB BAM, I think it was called, or MLB. Yeah, I think it was called MLB BAM. And they were, cutting-edge technology in front of everything. They got to work some of the kinks out. This is really the first time everybody all went at the same time.
Well, but they didn't know that. I mean,
of course they know it. You just don't know what's wrong. They'll get it figured out. I mean, I was as annoyed as anybody, and you know me. I get annoyed at things like this.
Yeah.
And I was pissed. I wasn't Frank Fleming pissed, but I was pissed. And certainly after, I had to update the app and things like that were happening, I got it and I figured it out and everything was fine. But I just said, watching it the way we were able to watch it on the app and do multi-screens, it's just that the second screen was small. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I ended up going really just back and forth from the MLB app and then the ESPN broadcast of the Yankee game, and then also when I was able to get the iPad away from Summer, I was able to have both of those going on. So I mean, there's everybody figures out a way to do it, and I think, not everybody's trying to, the Yankee fans are watching their game, the Mets fans are watching their game. Maybe for Soto, the Yankee fans were checking in on the Mets game, but as we go on, it's basically you're going to be watching your own team. We're not going to be watching it just because of what we do. We're watching both of the games at the same time. I don't think that's common for baseball fans. I mean, they're into their team, and that's basically it. So they'll have a full screen of their team, and the Yankees got a full screen of Austin Wells leading off the game with a home run.
That's great.
And Carlos Rodon pitching. It's not the playoffs, we know that, but opening day at Yankee Stadium when they know how important he is this rotation, especially after the Garrett Cole injury, him to come out and pitch that way was a huge boost for that team. Yeah,
it was good for him. It was good for Austin Wells, and quite frankly, it was a good, solid win for them. And here we go, we're off and running. But for the Mets, Clay Holmes was, he was all over the place. They want to make him into a starter. He's going to be a big part of this starting rotation. According to Carlos Mendoza after the game, sinker wasn't there, especially against right-handers. But he did keep him in the game. He battled through some situations. He gave him too many free passes. He hits a batter. Acuna has a throwing error.
Yep.
I mean, so, things like that, little things like that have to get cleaned up, and they will. And it's too bad that, Soto didn't take that pitch, got on base, and let, Pete Alonso get up.
Yeah, I mean, and you're not going to see a lot of those swings from Soto throughout the year unless he turns into a completely different person. He doesn't generally, especially when he's got three balls, flail at something like that. But Josh Hader got him. But the thing that just drives me crazy is, and it's not just Juan Soto. You got a 3-0 count. And he's sitting there, and he obviously wanted to hit because he swung at two balls later in the at-bat. He swung at a fastball that was out of the zone, and he swung at the slider that was out of the zone.
That's pressure.
But the 3-0 pitch is a hanging slider right down the middle of the plate that he probably in batting practice could hit 450 feet, and he just lets that go. I hate that just because it's 3-0. That's the best pitch you're going to get. If that was a 2-0 pitch, a 3-1 pitch, a 1-0 pitch, you're swinging and you're hitting it. But at 3-0, he just lays it in there over the plate and hangs it, and he takes it and swings it two balls out of the zone. But whatever, it's fine. He'll
we got
be
161 more of these to discuss.
I know, but we can't just say that after every single baseball take. And we won't have a show to do for 4 hours. So,
right.
I mean, it sucked to see that. He'll be fine, but that annoyed me. That absolutely annoyed me. And the fact that,
they also got Fromberg.
Well, yes, but then this is when Fromber was out. Fromber is a great. He I always say he reminds me of Mike Hampton. That lefty, he's crafty. He never is too emotional. He's great, but once he was out of the game, the Mets had those opportunities. They couldn't capitalize. But whatever. It was annoying first game, especially with the Yankee fans. They get their win, and then they watch Soto strike out in the first game. Yeah, they had a fun day yesterday. A little bit of a fun day.
They won their home opener. That's great. That's and Austin Wells starting it off with a home run was probably electric if you were there. It felt that way.
Yeah, so, and that kid caught the home run right in the glove, right there in right field perfectly, and was fired up. It was just that was a great opening day scene for the Yankee fans who did not have a great offseason. The offseason was miserable. And here it is right here, and the kid bang right there is going nuts as he catches the ball, brings his glove.
It's a little sample, very little sample size, but I think Cody Bellinger is going to be great for the Yankees. I really do, and I just think defensively, base running, all these little things that we were just talking about with the Mets and how they end up losing the game because of walks and throwing error and lack of clutch hitting. There's a million things you could talk about. The opposite is true for Yankees yesterday. I just think him in center field and the way he runs the bases, the smart baseball player he is, just have a feeling he's going to be a really, really good player for them.
Yeah, and when you see Cody Bellinger's highlights, it's it's so smooth, looks great. You're like, man, I mean, how is this guy not winning an MVP every year? He's perfect for Yankee Stadium. The problem is that, he goes through extended slumps and he's gone through some really bad offensive seasons. But I think, in this lineup, even though it's not as formidable as last year, in that stadium, yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with you. He's got a huge opportunity to be a major offensive player for this team.
Do you think that, I don't know about, Jason Dominguez yet in left field, but do you think that overall the Yankee outfield could be better defensively the way that it's configured now than it was last year?
100%. Of course. I mean, that was the whole. Now, Dominguez, we got to see.
Yeah.
But could he be any worse than Soto was out there? I mean, I know he's in left field yesterday, but in right field, could he be any worse?
Well, they're gonna. I think it's good. They're gonna keep Aaron Judge out there in right field.
Yeah. But I'm saying Soto. I'm talking Soto, Dominguez. But like, could Dominguez be a worse outfielder than Juan Soto was this year? It's possible.
Well,
possible.
I just think with Bellinger and Judge out there, you got 2 Gold Glovers out there.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is great. Which is what you want. I mean, listen, maybe they found something. Who knows? We'll just see. I just kind of felt just watching him. He takes a base on a wild pitch yesterday. Just smart little things like that some other people take for granted. Not covering first base. That seems to be a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with the Yankee pitchers.
Right. I know.
Get the hell over there.
A little bit of a reminder of one of the worst moments that they've had in a long time.
Have you ever seen an unathletic move like that?
Yeah, Luis Torrens trying to take third on that pass ball yesterday and getting thrown out.
Yeah.
Listen, I understand that ball hit the backstop and went right back to the catcher perfectly, but at the same time, holy hell. I mean, we're talking about, and he's a catcher. I understand he's not supposed to be fast, but if you're that goddamn slow, just stay on second base.
But I don't think he would have expected the ball to do what it did.
He's a catcher, though. He should know. He knows pass balls.
Just stay right there. Don't move.
I couldn't believe it. Because when you're watching the game, you see the angle from behind the mound, you see the ball, you're just assuming the guy's going to just get in there safely. And then when they cut to the shot of the throw going to third base, he's still nowhere near the bag. What do you want?
Where you been?
Where you been, man? What the hell?
No, but I was, of course, I'm talking about Rodon covering first base and tripping over nothing.
Yeah, I know. When you're talking about least athletic moves, I know. Yeah. Yeah, I know. But Rodon, I mean,
certain things we got to still work on. Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, I suppose. Man, I tell you, no Anthony Rizzo's not signed with anybody. I'm sure if he was watching that game yesterday, he was thinking, oof.
Well, I'm thinking Paul Goldschmidt's going, is this just a thing that happens here or what?
Yeah, it is interesting because you think Cole and Rizzo
I'm telling you,
are
man,
both not around.
Hey,
Fundies.
Fundamentals,
I knew you were going fundies on that.
I couldn't believe that happened in game 1.
Yeah, especially after the last time we saw them, they couldn't execute that play properly.
Now after that, everything was fine.
Yeah.
What's his name? Weaver got over there just fine.
Yeah, and then in Devin Williams, a little bit agita, but ends up getting out of it against his former team. So, but
now he's done for 2 days.
Yeah, sure, of course.
What did he throw, like 35 pitches yesterday?
It was a lot. Hader threw a lot, too.
Yeah, they both did.
I mean, Hader ended up throwing a lot, too. But, yeah, I mean, it was good to have it back yesterday after the frustration of the app. And then, now we've got – well, we probably won't be thinking about these games. It was funny because, like, last year – I heard C-Mac calling in, and he's talking about, Juan Soto in the same exact situation last year came through, and I'm like, I had to, think about it and remember. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Against the Astros, he did, and he threw a guy out. So much crap happens after today that we're not going to be looking back and saying, we knew on opening day the Yankees are going to be great because they had that great win, and the Mets were going to stink because they couldn't break through against Framber Valdez. Not going to work that way.
Yeah, I had an issue with C-Mac this morning.
Oh, did you?
I'll tell you on the other side of the break because I want Jerry in here to hear this. Because
Jerry's not here today.
Oh, he's not here.
You want to call him?
I'll have CeeLo talk.
All right.
I want him to hear it
just because I know. Knows C-Mac better than Jerry does, so this will be good.
This will be good. But, C-Mac did something this morning that personally drives me insane. It's the one thing that just absolutely gets me all riled up that I had to get out of the car and scream at him.
Wow.
I'm just telling you right now. And I'm sure many of you have dealt with this, but this is my one thing that annoys me more than anything.
Okay. So it's something he said on the radio. It wasn't like he left a mess in the studio.
It is something that I'm telling you, and I'm sure you guys all feel the same way about this. And I was so mad at him this morning. that I have to admit that I snapped on Greenwich Street.
Did you?
I did. And
Wow.
and it's
I'm really interested to hear this.
yeah.
And it's something you said on the air.
I laid into him actually.
I would have thought that he left a mess in the studio when you were doing your sports minutes, like because that I know you hate.
I hate that or the stink.
The
The Al Cintron stink.
The Al Cintron stink. He's got a stink?
He's got. Oh, that's right. You weren't here.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He came in one day and he was doing the overnights, and I walked in there and did my sports minutes in that studio, and he had worn like a really heavy dose of aftershave.
Oh, okay.
Or parfum or whatever.
Oh, now that makes sense because at the end of the show yesterday, he said, "I'm wearing Gucci something."
Pablo something.
Yeah, and I was Pablo something.
Pablo Rabanne or something right there. Paco Rabanne or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. So I was like, that's weird that he would say that.
Yeah,
and now I get it.
You were not here for this.
Yeah. Okay, so the stench.
And it got so bad over there that I asked Al to go in there and smell.
Oh, okay.
And then Al came back, confirmed, yes, heavy dose of Paco Rabanne or something.
All right, so this is something that C-Mac said on the air.
I didn't say that. I'm just telling you, there's something that he did that really just annoyed the hell out of me. And it is got to be because it happens a lot, and I never really say much about it. And this morning, I don't know why, it just got me, and I just had to scream at him in the street. I mean, the guy behind the security desk when you walk in there, he actually got up behind the desk and was walking out. And you know the engineer, the young guy that works here, the shorter guy?
Yeah. Yes, very nice guys coming here a couple of times, yep.
Yeah, very good guy. So he was there, too, and they both thought that there was going to be a fight out in the street.
Okay, so it's not something you heard driving in. It's something you saw him do.
It's just something that C-Mac, I don't know if he does it a lot, but in this particular instance this morning, crack of dawn, I'm thinking about a million different things.
When you see him in that Yankee jersey.
Yeah, he had the big old Yankee jersey on and everything. God almighty.
Big old Yankee jersey.
Yeah, that thing looks like a sheet.
Did he come back at you?
He rolled down the window and did, he yelled something back. I think, it could have been a Carlin Giannotti situation.
Wow. That's serious, huh?
That frustrating.
All right, we'll get to that next in a CeeLo update. It's Boomer and Gio just getting started on this Feel Good Friday morning.